My cousin Juliet Gore is a wonderfully wise woman, and I remember many years ago she said to me when I was feeling particularly stressed and complaining about something, she said, "Oh, for goodness sake, go out in the garden and stay there until you feel better." Well, that was one of the best pieces of advice anyone had ever given me. And ever since that day, I've been blessed enough to have a garden, and if I feel really not good, I just go out in the garden and I get my hands in the dirt and I stay there until I feel better. But there is much more behind that she didn't tell me about at the time in terms of science. Because if you go out barefoot on the ground, and make sure there's no ticks, there's no broken glass, there's blah, 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 all the things that you need to be careful of. In fact, it's one of the reasons I moved from the town I spent 12 months in when I first arrived in America this last trip, because I couldn't go outside without the fear of ticks. So I moved to a place where I could go barefoot on the beach, and I can actually be barefoot in my backyard. And I do that because the earth has ions that it gives you. It balances out some of the lack of the, I think it's positive ions or negative, one of the two, positive or negative ions, electrons. And the earth gives them to us. And so it balances us out. So by you going and grounding, it makes a big difference. So what if you live in an apartment building? Well, there are grounding sheets and grounding mats. And I had those as well at home. And I travel with a small grounding sheet that I can plug into a plane seat, or I can plug into a hotel room plug. So explore grounding sheets, earthing sheets they're called, grounding or earthing, and mats, and also kind of mats that you can put on the ground under your feet. Like if I worked in a building, an office building, I would absolutely have a grounding mat, and I would plug it into the nearest outlet. They have long cords, and I would sit with my bare feet on the grounding mat, and that resolves a lot of the electromagnetic soup that you're sitting in every day. And if you're lucky enough, like me, to live near a beach, getting out and being on the beach barefoot and feeling the breeze in your face and just being in nature makes a huge difference. If you're near a bush or a forest, or what do you call it in America? If you go hiking, we call it bushwalking, but even if you can't go hiking, go hug a tree. I know it sounds ridiculous. People go, "Oh, she's gone too far, hugging trees. People will think I'm a psycho." Who cares what people think? I hug trees. I make sure there's not a lot of ants in the tree and no ticks. But, it makes a difference. Nature is a part of us. We are all part of the quantum field. And there is so much energy that comes from the earth up through the trees and comes out of the trees to us. When you go and you walk through a beautiful forest and you come to this little oasis that might have a little pond, but it's got all this beautiful green stuff around it. If you just stop and be still and absorb what is coming to you from nature, it's extraordinary. And you'll find that it's boiling hot 10 feet from where you are. But when you come into this little oasis, the temperature dramatically drops because the leaves are taking air in and out, there's moisture in and out, there's moisture coming up from the pond. Nature feeds us. Go out into the garden and insert the word nature, the beach, the forest, a tree, anything else that's nature-like, a river, a lake. Go out there and stay there till you feel better. You'll be amazed at how effective it is. Ta-da!
Always look on